What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moneyline Media. Are you guys ready for this marvelous Monday Night Football? We got a great interview for you guys tonight. We got Anthony Caljean, the special teams and defensive quality control coach of Akron Zips. Deirdre, break it down.
Well, this is his first year with Akron. We're excited to get to know what his opinion on the MAC, his opinion on the COVID season, all of this recruitment. It is National Signing Day on the 16th. And the 17th. It's weird. Like National Signing Day is a couple of days. So we're interested to get the recruitment process, and we're letting him in right now. It's going to be super exciting conversations. Hi, Anthony.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. We're excited to talk to you about all MAC and recruitment and all things that are going on with the football, especially the MAC football.
Absolutely. I unfortunately see that you're also a Jets fan.
Yes, yes. It's a tough life, but someone's got to do it, right?
No doubt. No doubt.
So we want to get started. James, why don't you get started with your question?
All right, Anthony, first off, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
And this is your first year with Akron. What has this experience been like for you?
It's been really kind of crazy. I got here in July expecting a full season, and obviously the summer was a little bit abbreviated, so we had mini camps, which we've never had before. So I basically got there, got thrusted into that. First day of camp, we're all excited. Everybody reports all that stuff, and they drop the bomb that they're canceling the season. And it's like, okay, so then you kind of get ready for, like a normal fall, I guess not even a normal fall, but like a fall off for the first time in my life, really. Yeah. And then, just a couple weeks later, they're like, oh, well, let's have the season actually. So had to put together like a training camp schedule in the middle of October and jump into it in November and be playing, later than we're used to playing in these cold areas, like Buffalo and Michigan and stuff like that, Ohio. So it's been a wild ride, but it's been fun. So I'll definitely always remember this year.
Hard to forget, right? This is an interesting first year to have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously National Signing Day is coming up. I have a family member who is a high school head coach here in Jersey. For someone like him and for his players, what does a place like the University of Akron look for in potential recruits or red flags that you might have for potential recruits? Like, what is recruiting like, especially this year?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, recruiting wise, first of all, we're looking for great people. We want people that we want to be around and who want to get better and want to be, who love football and everything that goes along with it, because there is such a difference between, high school where it's, there's obviously a lot of scheduling and stuff that goes involved in that. But when you get to the college level, it's just a different level of commitment, and there's a different level of the hours that go into it, not just on the practice field, but then it's meetings, walkthroughs, watching film on your own. It's just, it's a lot. So we're looking for guys who are going to be really, really committed to that and not waver from that. So I say, great people first, great students. We want to have guys with 4.0s and guys who are getting it done in the classroom, because you can't get it done in the classroom, you're not going to get it done on the field. And if we can't trust you to show up to class and do your assignments, I don't trust that you're going to show up to lift and do your assignments on the field. So I'd say that's next. And then obviously, we're looking for the most explosive, best athletes that we can find. So I'd say those are the three major things.
How does a recruit kind of stand out in your mind that you're going to bed and you're like, oh man, we got to get this guy. We got to get this guy. How do they do that? Is it a game, or is it you look at their stats throughout their high school career, where they play, like maybe the division, maybe the state? Does that all play a part?
I think for us, regionally, we're definitely looking in Ohio and some of the surrounding areas, Pittsburgh and into Pennsylvania, down to Kentucky. But with where, our staff is from all over the country. So we have guys from North Carolina, Florida. I'm from Jersey myself, so I'm really big on the Jersey guys, Philadelphia, New York. So we're casting a big net. Again, we're looking for kind of what I touched on before, like just great kids. I think that the first thing that is going to catch your eye as a coach is going to be that film, like just really, really impressive. Or if we have great relationships with high school coaches, getting a great recommendation from them or trainer or something like that. And then getting into those conversations with the kids and just like growing a relationship from there, going through I just got off of FaceTime with a couple guys where I'm kind of asking them hypothetical leadership questions. Like, all right, if you had a sophomore on your team is missing lifts, how are you going to go about that as a leader? What are you going to do? And it's really interesting to hear, their responses. Some guys want to, slam the desk and, rule with an iron fist. And some guys, they want to go find out, what's going on at home. Maybe this kid doesn't have a ride to lift. And that's why, he's not making it. And I'm, as a leader, going to go pick him up. So, we want to hear what these guys have to say and really kind of, get an idea of their character, just who they are. So I would say, that film is going to get you in the door, but then those conversations and learning more about you, not just as a player, but as a person, as a student, we're talking to guidance counselors, we're talking to your high school coach. If this was a normal year and we're actually in school, we might just grab a random person in the hallway and, hey, what do you think of this kid? Is this
really
a nice kid around campus? Yeah, absolutely. Leave no stone unturned. I really do believe that, you don't miss on a kid. You just don't ask enough questions. So you get a kid to campus and you realize, oh man, maybe this is not who we thought it was. That's not the kid's fault. That's your fault.
Absolutely.
Right.
So Anthony, what has been your biggest challenge as a coach coming into the MAC conference?
I would say, probably going along with just everyone that's going through the COVID protocols and stuff like that. It's really kind of crazy. You'll have a kid, I think earlier in the year, we had two kids actually tested positive for COVID, but we had 18 kids out. And the thing that's kind of weird is, and it's changed now, but the guys that we lost from contact tracing were out longer than the guys who actually had COVID. So we're trying to put together, scout teams and varsity teams, and it's a revolving door. So it's definitely been kind of frustrating. As far as the MAC goes, playing on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, it's crazy. I'm calling my mom and I'm like, hey, I got all my work done for Sunday. I'm so excited. I'm ahead of the curve. She's like, it is Sunday. I'm like, no, it's not. It's all over the place.
As football fans, we loved it. This year was awesome because once the MAC started, it was the Tuesday, it was the Wednesday. Yep. We had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday nights. It was amazing as fans, but I could only imagine as a coach.
No, as a coach myself, watching it, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I wonder what that would be like. And then you're living it and you're like, wait, what day is it? What's going on in the world?
So speaking of this year, you guys had your first win in 21 games. What was that like to be a part of that team? And by the way, won swimmingly in that game, the Bowling Green game. What was that like?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was really, really well deserved by our staff and our players. It's been tough. Coach Arth came in and I think the staff has done a really, really good job of changing the culture. He's an awesome guy. He's an awesome guy to work for, awesome guy to be around. I think he's really a special person. And I think it shows just by the way our guys fought. And, we have a really, really young team, and unfortunately, young teams tend to make their mistakes on the field. But, it's one of those things that you're going into fourth and fifth week of the season, you have no wins on the board, but our guys are still really, really competitive, and our practices are crisp and sharp, and guys are excited to be out there. And I've been on teams that, we were 6-4 or 5-5, we were playing for winning schedules. And, we didn't go out and practice as well as we practiced this past year. So, our guys, as I said, definitely had to do a lot of learning on the field, but I do think that the future's bright at Akron, especially under Coach Arth. So
Yeah, for sure.
You talk about how it's a very young team you guys have over there. What excites you about moving forward with that young team, getting to watch them grow and develop as players?
I mean, I think it's just that it's one of those things that, like, as a coach, like, my dream is to see these guys reach their dream and help them to accomplish their goal. So it's just, building those relationships with those guys and kind of seeing, like, when the light goes off for them and the thing that you've been teaching them for, maybe 4 years, that's, 5 years sometimes, and it just happens in the game and they make that play. You're like, okay, like, I made a difference and I was able to influence them. So, I think it's just going to be watching these guys mature, become better football players, become better men, is always the most rewarding part of the process. And like, nothing tickles me more than when, like, a guy's like driving through town and is like, hey coach, you want to go, grab lunch or something like that. And it's just like, you made an impact on them that they want to be able to see you and still have a relationship with you, even, 4 or 5 years after, they're graduated. So, no, I'm just excited to watch these guys grow and continue to learn and continue to get better.
By the way, and there's something that can be said about, your Akron team. Yes, it was a 1-win team, but they did not give up any time throughout any of those games. And I think they really, I mean, especially with that Ohio game that I watched, they really, and kind of like a veteran team. Ohio had a little bit more, I believe, upperclassmen than you guys. And they really, everyone played to that final whistle, which is something great to see.
Yeah, no, definitely. As I said, I think there's brighter days on the horizon. I'm happy our guys are off and going to get to rest their bodies and kind of rest their minds. But when they get back to it, we're going to get after it, and we'll be going as hard as anybody else in the MAC. So I'm excited about that.
You bring up the MAC, and we bring up your young team. There's another young team too. Bowling Green, I think, is like the second youngest in the whole FBS. What is the MAC's future like? Because there's a couple of really young studs in the MAC. What do you see as the MAC's future going forward?
I mean, the MAC is crazy. You see so many coaches get they come in, they do a great job, and kind of are springboarded to these great careers. Actually, going into Bowling Green, I was like kind of looking at their like past coaches, and it's the who's who of college coaches now. And this is just a time that they're down. They're going to be back up, and coming in, talking to some of the coaches on staff, especially guys that have been around the MAC, they're like, anyone can win it any year. And teams are just gonna, it's cyclical, and every team's gonna have their chance and their year. So it's really, really competitive, and it's been fun to be a part. I wish I got like the full experience.
Right.
But Buffalo, Western Michigan, Ball State, all those teams are doing a great job right now. And we're hoping that we're competing next year, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
For sure.
So you gave us a little bit of insight on how it's been coaching through COVID-19, but throughout the daily protocols that you guys must have to be going through right now, how excited are you to just take a nap once everything's said and done?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like, it's been such a strange year, like you're saying, like between like the social distancing during meetings, and you can't really even have like traditional meetings with your team. I'm looking forward to some downtime and being able to watch some of these other teams, playing and watch some NFL film because I feel like I've just been locked in like zip land for so long. But definitely looking forward to that.
What has been harder? Has it been harder to like recruit during COVID or actually like practice and get your current team ready to go?
I would definitely say practice because, like I said, like, as the special teams quality control, I'm in charge of like getting the scout team ready and all that stuff. And we started off the year with probably, maybe 24 guys, 25 guys. So I got it 2 deep. I'm rolling. We're awesome. And there's weeks in there where we had 7 guys. I can't even put a full team out there. I got multiple guys going multiple times. I'm pulling, quarterbacks and kickers and like, whatever. We're trying to just throw it all together. Honestly, I think recruiting has almost been easier because, the kids are at home, they're virtual classes and stuff like that. Especially this past spring. I was still at her sinus at Division III out in Philadelphia. But like I spent the entire day on FaceTime with kids. And it's like, when you're on the road in Jersey, you go to 5 to 7, schools a day, and you can see
Right.
so many kids, and you don't know which ones are actually interested. Like when you're on the FaceTime or the Zooms with like these kids, like, you're still getting interaction. You're still seeing, the face-to-face. Maybe it's not the same connection as you would have like in person, but I'm hitting so much more and like not spending the 3 hours in the car there and back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think COVID, for all the things that have been terrible about it, has really changed the way that recruiting is going to be going forward. Just with, as I said, like FaceTiming and connecting with kids that way.
That's great. Do you have a certain coach that you model your game after, or the way that you coach?
I don't know. That's tough. I'm definitely someone that like I want to learn from everybody. So I read a ton of football coaches' biographies and books and stuff like that. Urban Meyer. I'm just trying to like Bruce Arians, everybody. Whatever I can get my hands on. Listen to a lot of podcasts. And I don't just listen to like football podcasts. I'll listen to a lot of Gary V. I think a lot of
Oh yeah,
great.
that's great for the mind. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Really applicable to recruiting. I think maybe X's and O's wise, there's some people have influenced me. But I think like the deeper I've gotten into coaching, the more I realize like I just got to be me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when I first graduated and I was coaching, I was running around yelling at kids, not really like who I am, but like it's how I was coaching. I thought that's how you were supposed to coach. And then just as I went along and like saw some other coaches yelling, I'm like, you know what? Like he doesn't look good and the kids don't respond to that. So I need to be who I am. So, I'm trying to take the best of what everyone else does, but also give it my spin.
All right. So a fun question here for you. Any player, past or present, that you could dream to coach, who would it be?
That's tough. I'd probably have to say like Peyton Manning, because I want to work with the guys who just want to get better and want to be football nerds and junkies, just because like that's kind of how I am. And I could imagine just, if you're coaching him, you're going to give him some ideas, you're going to give him the game plan and that type of stuff. But he's not just going to say, okay, cool. Like he's going to challenge you. He's going to continue to ask questions. He's going to break down film with you and stuff. And the guys who I've really enjoyed coaching in my career are the guys who have gone on to become coaches because they just have that interest in it. And like, they're just coming in for like the extra 20-minute meeting, 40-minute meeting, picking my brain on, what's the difference between, this robber coverage and this, read coverage or whatever it is. So just having someone that's such a student of the game, I think would be really, really awesome.
That's for sure. I had a question for you, and I can't think of it now. I literally had it in my head. I hate when that happens. Oh yes, this is what it was. For a young coach who's in their is that the black cat from that Giants Cowboys game?
Oh,
You remember? Just kidding. For a young coach who's maybe going through struggles with their team, what advice do you have for them?
I mean, struggles with the team, I definitely say, I don't know. I just think, spend time getting to know your kids. I think it was like a George R.R. Martin quote from like Game of Thrones. But like, don't ask your guys to go get slaughtered if you don't know who they are. So times will definitely be tough, and losses can happen. But if you know who you're coaching, off the field, it's going to make, just them getting better and that experience way more rewarding. And it's not necessarily going to be about the wins or the losses. I'm definitely someone that, in my mind, it's more about culture and the culture that you create. And, I'm more worried about our guys showing up to lift on time, everyone having energy and all that stuff. Because if you can do those little things right, winning is going to be a byproduct of your culture. So if you concentrate on those little things in the process and just, enjoying the people that you're around and making it a fun experience. All that other stuff, I think will work out in the end.
Thank you so much for coming on, Anthony. We had a very good time. We can't wait to have you back on when the Zips are the MAC champions in 2021. We're hoping for you guys, and exciting to watch. And thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Anthony. Stay safe. Stay well, buddy.
Take care.
Have a good one. Anthony Caljean, great guy, nice guy. That Akron team, they are, I think, 1-4, 1-5, but it's a good 1-4, 1-5. Very exciting going forward. If you don't watch the MAC, I recommend you watch the MAC, and I recommend, nonstop action. And I recommend that you listen to my non-Power 5 recap podcast, as well as the non-Power 5.
Deirdre made me lose 8 bets this week.
I did have a rough week.
No, I actually won 3 bets from you this week.
Did you? The MAC I'm pretty good with.
Yes.
I watch a lot of MAC. Some of the other ones, like the American, confuses me all the time. I have no idea.
Speaking of which, I forgot. When Anthony was talking, it reminded me of something. He said that he would dream to coach a student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Any students of the game. He said the best, his favorite people to coach were people that became coaches. My 3-month-old daughter is very much a student of football.
She's ready. She's ready to be the next Sarah Fuller.
Locked in.
Good.
Saturday, Sunday from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
It's probably the only time you stop talking. She's probably like, thank God. This old man is finally being quiet.
When I'm losing bets after the bets, what makes you think I'm not talking?
She's probably – that's true. That's true.
Like, there he goes again.
Thank you, Anthony Caljean, again for coming. And we will be back with our QB draft. Stay tuned. You want to do your stay healthy, stay happy, stay hydrated?
Stay happy. Stay hydrated.
Perfect. And that's the thing.